and good morning or good afternoon or evening from wherever you're watching us from. This is a new day, and I am so grateful for life. I'm grateful for, being able to come back to you. And today we are going to be speaking on a totally different subject. As the year comes to a close, we are in December, and we are talking about personal crisis. If there's a time that each one of us, in one way or another, has gone through crisis, then I know it is now. We've all been through crisis, and some of you may think crisis, yeah, it's obvious, but when you think about crisis, it's an event that comes unexpectedly and has a potential to cause danger or to cause bad things in your life. So today we are asking ourselves, how do we face personal crisis? And when we talk about any type of crisis, first of all, we need to understand that crisis is about loss. It's about the loss of someone you love. It could be the loss of a job. It could be about loss of familiar surroundings, or it could be even loss of stability in one way or another. So as we talk about loss, and especially in the matters of crisis, we need to ask ourselves, how can we overcome crisis? The number one thing that we can learn to do, especially in times of crisis, is to ask ourselves, if I am not benefit from this crisis and the aftermath of the crisis, why should I keep on staying there? And when I say there, I mean mentally. I know sometimes, especially when it comes to someone having lost someone they love, there's a process of, shock, anger, denial, and then finally acceptance. So you cannot quickly get out of it like, the way you'd walk out of a room. It's a process. But then again, there are other things that you can clearly say no to and decide, I don't have to stay here if I'm not benefiting from it. For example, in my academics life, I have discovered that there are some particular subjects, so to speak, that will just drain me of my energy. I'll just feel like every time I think of this particular subject, I just feel I don't have the energy to work. And I ask myself, why do I have to put up with this, kind of a subject? And maybe I could say maybe the technically inclined kind of subjects. I'm not saying I entirely ran away from them, but I said, why don't I look for the kind of subjects that I enjoy, the ones that I come alive when I'm talking about? I didn't entirely run away from them, but I looked at the benefit and I said, if I'm not benefiting from this, why don't I go to the side that I love? That's just an example I'm giving you. So try to get balanced. Don't get stuck in something that is draining you of your energy. Do not spend too much time, for example, eating, sleeping too much, or doing anything in excess. It is dangerous. So learn to say no and walk away from something that is not bringing life to you. The other point that we can talk about as far as facing crisis is concerned is avoiding social addiction. Yes, I know today we're living in a world of social media. If it was not for social media today, you'd not be watching me wherever you're watching me from. And so even with the advantages and the good side of social media, we need to understand that some people have actually gotten addicted to social media. So let us avoid that social addiction, especially in moments of crisis whereby you want to just be on your phone forever, be on television forever, watch movies the whole day. I understand that people that can binge watch even series for like the whole night, then wake up, go sleep, wake up again, watch, that is totally unhealthy. So avoid social addiction. Create a balance so that you're not sucked into the virtual world. I think the virtual world is an area that many people never anticipated because we were used to doing things so much in the analog way. But now with social media, there's a little bit of, not a little bit, actually there's an addiction to social media where people sometimes don't even know the difference of reality from real life. Sometimes it helps to call a friend, a real friend, talk to them and tell them how you're doing. One of the things I've tried to do, and over the years I've really tried to discipline myself to do, is to just call someone every day, even if it's just for 2 minutes, and tell them, hi, how are you doing? I just wanted to check how you're doing. Not that I have 1,000 friends, but the acquaintances and the friends, I call them. But then there's this thing about, especially, and now this is really a light note, you call someone and you're talking, and all this time they have been waiting to hear What's the agenda? Why are you calling me? Because we are not used to calling people just to say hi. So if someone calls you and says, oh, I was just checking on you, wanted to know how you're doing. Someone says, oh, thank you. But I can almost guess deep down they're thinking, are you sure there's nothing else you wanted to say? So sometimes it's good to just call a friend. The other thing, and I know there are so many other things we can talk about, like going to a therapist, praying, talking to your pastor, or talking to your priest. For those who go to the priest, there are so many things you can do, like going away on a holiday and all things, but we cannot tackle all that in this one segment. The other thing that can help you during a crisis is to keep a calendar. And I mean a literal calendar, in the sense that on this day I'll be here, on this day I'll be here. It helps you shorten the days, because when you're going through a crisis, you wake up, and especially if you had someone that you loved and they're no longer there, your life was so attached to them, you wake up, you're almost calling out their name, and you're thinking, oh, so and so is no more. You used to do things together, you used to go places together. So have a calendar, restructure your life slowly, so that it can help you overcome that crisis you're going through. Set a schedule and stick with it. That helps a lot, because we are, in a way, human beings are predictable beings. So if you wake up, the reason why you find people really bored, especially young people mostly, they don't know what to do, or retirees, people that have retired, they are bored, is because they don't have a schedule. They just wake up, take tea, sit outside. They don't have a schedule, like, I know tomorrow I will do this. Try and create a to-do list. Then in the evening, tick against what you did that day, and you'll be surprised the level of satisfaction it gives you. And also it makes you avoid procrastination and mismanagement of time. And I will finish by saying, in dealing with your personal crisis, and I know I've just touched the surface, because we all have different kinds of crises. We are not all the same, but I'm talking about the general things you can do to overcome a crisis. You need to take a vacation. In Africa, someone will ask you, if I cannot put food on the table for my kids, how do you expect me to go on holiday? Maybe let me say, for those that can afford, you can plan. Many times we see people come from abroad, they come to Kenya, live in what we consider the best hotels, not because they have so much money. They plan their vacation. 2 weeks, I'll go stay in this hotel. So what do? I save for the holiday. But when was the last time you saved for a holiday? If at least you can save for a holiday. If you cannot afford a holiday, there are friends who build very nice homes away from your familiar surroundings. You can talk to them. You can go stay in their home 4 days, if they don't live there, of course. And even if they live there, there are some that have such huge homes, they don't even use half of the rooms. You can go there, unwind, have some time away from all the familiar surroundings, and give yourself a break. And I believe, you'll be halfway through dealing with your personal crisis, whatever it is, even as we seek to share more on how to deal with personal crisis, and especially in the COVID season, when people have lost their jobs, others have been kicked out of their homes, they have gone to the village, the villagers are not used to these town dwellers, and so you're facing an identity crisis. So I want to encourage you, as you put into practice those things, and of course, above all, involve God in your crisis. I cannot leave out that aspect, because truly, at the end of the day, there is a God who hears and answers prayer. And as you deal with your crisis, put him in the middle of that crisis. He knows why he allowed it, and he will give you the strength and the grace to overcome.